What is the anti-commandeering doctrine? Have you ever wondered how the balance of power between federal and state governments works? The anti-commandeering doctrine plays a key role in this relationship. It is a constitutional principle that prevents the federal government from forcing state legislatures or state officials to enforce federal laws. This means the federal government cannot issue commands that requiring states to take specific actions on its behalf. This doctrine is rooted in the idea of state sovereignty and the balance of power established by the United States Constitution, particularly the 10th Amendment. At its core, the doctrine distinguishes between two types of federal authority. The first is permissible preemption, where federal law overrides conflicting state law by prohibiting certain state actions. The second is impermissible commandeering, where the federal government mandates that states must take affirmative actions or enforce federal regulations. The anti-commandeering doctrine prohibits the latter. Congress cannot compel states to enact or enforce federal regulatory programs or policies. Instead, the federal government must regulate individuals directly or provide incentives to states without coercion. This is particularly important in the context of individual freedom and rights in libertarianism. From a libertarian perspective, this doctrine is significant because it protects individual freedom and state autonomy. It limits federal overreach, reinforcing the idea that states should not be mere agents of the federal government. This separation helps prevent the concentration of power at the federal level, which libertarians view as a safeguard against tyranny. In practical terms, this means that on contentious issues like gun control or self-defense rights, the federal government cannot force states to enforce federal mandates. States retain the right to decide how to regulate these matters within their borders. This aligns with libertarian values that emphasize individual rights and limited federal intervention. The anti-commandeering doctrine was formally recognized by the United States Supreme Court in the 1990s and has been reaffirmed in recent decisions. It serves as a legal tool to challenge federal laws that infringe on civil liberties by improperly involving state governments in federal enforcement schemes. In summary, the anti-commandeering doctrine protects state sovereignty by prohibiting federal commands that requiring state officials to enforce federal law. It ensures a balance of power between federal and state governments while supporting individual freedom by limiting federal intrusion into state governance. This allows states to maintain control over their own laws, especially in matters related to self-defense and individual rights, consistent with libertarian principles.